Hi, and welcome to Second Impressions, Astound's web series where we discuss marketing questions we receive from viewers like yourself. I'm Trevor Heaton, and I've got my colleagues with me, marketing experts Greg Bond and Eric Wolf with me. Hey guys, how are you doing?
Good.
Hey, how's
Thanks
it going?
for having us on our own show, Trevor.
Yes. They haven't canceled us yet. It's a good sign.
We're not canceled. We got another season. So today, in this series, guys, for the viewers, we answer all the questions that come in from viewers like yourself. Today, we got a question about setting a marketing budget. CW, who's in the legal industry, asked, I've always been cheap when it comes to marketing. I feel like anyone can make me a website or email, but my business coach says I need a new approach if I'm going to grow. What am I missing? I feel like this might be a question my dad would ask because he's quite cheap when he does stuff. But there's effective ways that we can look at the marketing. So this is a pretty big question. So Eric, Greg, where should CW start with setting his marketing budget?
This is a question we get a lot, and it's not, I know when somebody says they're cheap and you're asking that to a marketer, that automatically should evoke some sort of response, but I get it. I think the difference for us is discerning between not wanting to put money towards something and not wanting to dedicate your own time and resources to something. And so when we hear that, what I often pick up is a general attitude that doesn't find marketing to be that valued. And so that is the bigger question rather than I just don't want to put money towards this. It's more like we often don't trust things that we don't really know. And so in many cases, people are better off holding on to their money. Otherwise, they might spend it foolishly. And so I think when I hear that question, what I really interpret is, how should I think about investing in marketing so that I could grow? And there's always these chicken and egg issues about what comes first. But for us, it's about dedicating time and resources to something, to first gaining enough knowledge in the area that you can effectively manage and know what needs to be outsourced, like how to properly fund marketing. Because if you don't have that base level knowledge, then oftentimes any investment you make in that area will fall flat. And so to get over that hump of getting that base level knowledge that people need to understand what their marketing looks like or should look like, I would recommend going through a cost of acquisition exercise, because it's the first thing that will start to brass tacks your marketing. What a cost of acquisition exercise would look like is taking all of the different efforts that your business currently has underway that are geared towards getting that first acquisition of somebody, getting them to buy something, whether it be a product or service that you offer. And by looking at all of the costs that go into your acquisition outright, then it begins, that is the start of the process of understanding what you're already doing. Because a lot of people will say, I don't really believe in marketing, but they're already doing a lot of stuff around that area. They just need to see it in black and white.
And give some examples.
So
if I'm not investing marketing, how am I investing in marketing right now already?
Everybody's always investing in their salesperson or in generating leads, whether it be through going through industry organizations, networking, whatever it happens to be. And these are unaccounted for times and resources that we're spending dedicated to getting people in the door. And often this is one of the most inefficient ways of doing it. There's definitely a bootstrap element to it, because your own time is very valuable given the context. But if you don't have money, then that is what you have to invest. And so often people don't realize how expensive that is when it comes to their time. If they start to break it down and look at the hours that are being spent, the gas money, whether, the going to and from, and all these other things that you have to do to facilitate a sale, then you're never really going to have a clear understanding of what you're already doing. Once you do know that, it gives you a way better understanding of areas you might be able to optimize. Maybe it's a matter of having more virtual meetings that would shave some time off. And it's just the same thing that finance does with operations all the time, where they're like, basically like, you could save money here, you could save money here. You could do that exact same thing with the cost of acquisition exercise by taking all these different things that you're doing, putting them on paper and saying, maybe there is a more efficient way to run this process. Maybe I should introduce an additional resource into this mix, somebody whose time isn't quite as valuable as mine. And so that way they have more time to get dedicated to this process. That's all marketing. It's just that people often associate marketing with one thing. It's getting more sales, that closing the deal. But really, marketing is the full spectrum, all the way from somebody hearing about your business and what they hear, all the way through to how they experience your business after a sale and re-engage for perhaps more services down the road, or decide to cut loose and go on their own way. And everywhere in between, marketing has opportunities to optimize and improve.
Right. So we've got to, hey, Eric, we've got to, I guess a couple things we have to assume on the question the CW asked, and he wanted to know what his new approach should be, because he has his email, he has his website. So how does he optimize his marketing with a new approach? Does that involve getting an agency to help him out? Does that involve time? Marketing doesn't have to be expensive. There are plenty of ways he can promote his brand without emptying his bank account. So what would be the new approach?
Well, so nobody is advocating that he empty his bank account, but the question about, well, hey, you know, my I think it was my business coach is telling me that I need to change my outlook in order to grow, and here's what growth looks like. If you've done that cost of acquisition exercise like Greg was talking about, and you've got all of your overhead, your salesperson, your commission, your the bonus structure, whatever other overhead goes to support sales and marketing, any membership organization or trade group events, you've got all that stuff. I mean, even down to your business cards, brochures, whatever it is, all that stuff is in a bucket. We've spent X dollars in this past year on acquisition related activities. We've closed Y number of deals. And so my cost per acquisition is X divided by Y. And once I know that, what I can do is say, well, now here's what growth looks like. If my cost per acquisition is, just to throw out a number, is $1,000, and I want to increase my client base by 20 customers this year, then right off the bat, I need to increase my spend by $20,000, and that's just basic math. And so that's where you start. And that's how you get that budget that's actually going to work and be used, because it's based in reality. A lot of people say, so usually where guys like CW or ladies, the ladies can do this too, where folks who say that they're cheap about marketing usually come at it is they say, I need to do X. I need a new website, and that's worth this number of dollars to me. And so if I think that a website is worth $5,000, then I'm spending that, and that's just money that I'm spending. And then I don't know, but then someone says, oh, but then you got to do Google AdWords, and you're going to spend probably $2,000 a month just on ad media to get a baseline of activity on the website. And it's like, oh my God, that sounds like so much money. But but the reality is that you're just looking at dollars. You've got to look at that investment within the scope of what you're actually trying to accomplish, because your investment in marketing should be goal oriented, not tactic oriented. I'm not buying a website. I'm investing to get closer to this goal that I've outlined for my company, because I know what it's going to cost me to get another customer. And so I'm investing to make that process more efficient.
Another way to look at that is, we all know that we need websites. You know, that there was a period of time not long ago where
that was very much up for debate, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was still like a question, was like whether I needed a website. Now we know you need a website. Every business needs a website, and you need a website because it serves as validation. If you don't have a website, somebody's going to think your business is fly by night and they're fishy, and you're not necessarily going to trust whatever it is. Now, there's some businesses that could get by, maybe contractors and stuff like that. But for the most part, the second you're beyond a single person business, you are expected to have a website. And so what happens is, we can associate a certain percentage of your sales to the fact that you just have a website. And then there's incremental improvements you can make to your website and do things that will continue to improve those efficiencies that are gained. So there's a cost to not having a website, and then there's a cost to having a website, and then there's a cost to having a good website. And all of these will impact your bottom line sales numbers.
Hey, and Greg, let me give you a twist on this. So what do you say to the person? So usually the next discussion after somebody gets over this initial hump of, okay, I have to spend money on marketing. I get that part so far.
Yeah.
What is usually the next place that person goes to is, well, here's the way I want to work it. I just want to invest a little bit so that we can try. And then the profits that I get from that is going to fund the next round of marketing.
Oftentimes, so when I hear that, it's about the cost of acquisition again. And if you're not, the money that you're dedicating towards something isn't enough to accomplish or contribute to your improving of your cost of acquisition, then you'll never be able to get the returns that you need. And so oftentimes marketing is underfunded because somebody feels more comfortable spending $1,000, let's say, on a website than $5,000, but they actually need to spend the $5,000 towards their acquisition to contribute to, a spread of acquisitions to get the efficiency. Because otherwise, if you just have like a single page website and that's not enough for your marketplace, and the marketplace isn't going to recognize that as very valid or authority oriented, like it doesn't convey authority at all, then you're never going to get anything from it. You're guaranteed to not get a return on your investment. So for us, we'd say, hang on to your money if it's not going to contribute to your bottom line. Rather than going cheaply at something, you need to spend to the right price. And that price is decided by your own marketplace. So if you have a telecom business and you're competing against Comcast, CenturyLink, and whoever else it is, then you're going to be spending quite a bit of money to essentially outcompete them, where they have practically unlimited amounts of marketing dollars. Otherwise, you have to figure out other angles of attack that maybe they're less good at that could drive efficiencies those ways. But basically, it's like, if you can't beat Comcast at a cost per click campaign in search, then it's not worthwhile. You shouldn't do it.
Well, in the legal industry, you have a lot of competition.
Well, not only do you have a lot of competition, but depending on what area of the legal industry he plays in, clicks and audience could be a very spendy proposition.
Right.
Yeah.
Legal. Sorry, go ahead, Greg.
Personal injury has infamous cost per clicks that are exceeding $100 a click. But also, what is not unusual in funnels like that is that they often have very high close rates. So even though they're spending $100 on a click, they're closing or getting business. I shouldn't call it business, but getting clients from 1 out of every 2 of their clicks. And so a $200 cost per acquisition is very palatable for many businesses, even though the click itself is $100.
And
Yeah.
so it's really just a matter of looking at the math, which is why Greg started off with the conversation about cost per acquisition. Because if you don't know what it takes to get a customer, the bottom line is if you've got that goal and you're not spending enough to reach that goal, and it's really easy to find out what's realistic because all it takes is a client roster and your P&L profit and loss statement right out of QuickBooks, and you can figure this out in probably 20 minutes. If you're not spending at the proper levels to actually drive a result, you're essentially throwing money down the drain. It's better to, in a lot of cases, it's better to do nothing at all than to do something poorly, because you're just not going to recoup that money. You're not investing enough to make that a meaningful investment. And that's where a lot of people fall flat, is that you've got to, like with anything else, there's a certain amount of commitment that marketing at a high level requires. Just like if you're going to grow your company and grow your sales team, you've got to take the plunge and hire a salesperson full time and pay their salary and stick with them during that ramp up time while they're trying to figure things out. You can't say, well, you know what, I'm going to pay you for a month. And if you don't, and if you can recoup your salary in sales, then I'll double down and I'll give you a second month. And it doesn't work like that. You've got to hire somebody full time. And same thing with marketing. You've got to invest, and you've got to be prepared to make that investment and see it through to find out if it's going to be successful.
Right. That's a great point. Great analogy.
That's all I got.
I'm full of greatness, man.
You are full of greatness. No, a lot of good information. So anything else you guys want to add there? Any tools? Any place that they can go to? Do we have a tool on the website that they can go to?
Yes, absolutely. And we'll go ahead and in post we'll stick the link up. But if they go to astound.com/LTV, there's a calculator there that will help you calculate your the cost per acquisition of a customer and the lifetime value of a customer, so that you can start understanding what you need to spend on marketing and how that's going to drive your bottom line.
Right. And just so you know, for the viewers, that is not a trackable link. We will not market to you or reach out to you because you go there and you fill out that form and figure out what your budget should look like. Please feel free to go there and know that there's no tracking. We're not going to be following up with you. If you do want additional information, we are always glad to provide that to you. So Greg, Eric, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And CW, thank you for the question, and thank you for watching Second Impressions. We'll be back regularly answering more questions. If you have a question, be sure to send it to the email right there at the bottom, secondimpressions@astound.com. From all of us at Astound, thanks for watching.